spend enough time in the mountains with a bow, and if you're lucky, you might get into this situation here. The tip of that shaking arrow should tell you everything you need to know. It is nerve-wracking. I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. My friend Janis and I have just driven into a chunk of national forest in southeast Washington. We'll spend a week here. Before us, the Blue Mountains drop away into a network of near vertical canyons.
Couldn't ask for nicer weather.
Every year, just a handful of elk hunters are allowed in here. The privilege is granted through a lottery drawing that entitles you to kill a single bull elk. This year, I was one of those few who got lucky. What's especially exciting is that this is brand new country for us to explore.
And all the imagining I did, what it's gonna be like, I never imagined it would be like on fire.
No.
This is all smoke in the air and it's on fire. And there's a couple wolves cutting loose over that away.
On the benchlands, the Forest Service is doing controlled burns for habitat improvement and to decrease the likelihood of catastrophic wildfires. The smoke makes for a surreal atmosphere.
So we're gonna make a camp and then get up in the morning, put some amount of stuff in our packs for a day or two, a couple overnighters maybe, and strike off into the Great Smoky yonder.
Last night, we could hear elk bugles coming up from somewhere down below, so we plunge off the canyon rim in the dark and begin a long descent. There are no roads down there, and the only way in is from above. As we travel down canyon, we're met with silence. It's likely that the elk got spooked out by the wolves we heard rolling in. We'll have to re-find them. When bow hunting elk, you gotta get close, tight enough to smell them. That means calling them in by mimicking the sounds of cow, elk, and rival bulls. To be honest with you, Janis is way better at this than I am.
That's my two-step approach usually. High whistle, doesn't work, and then try one whistle and chuckle. See if that might excite them.
In a way, this is more his hunt than mine, because calling elk requires more skill than shooting them.
In the morning, like right before the dawn, is oftentimes the coldest part of the day. And as that air cools, it'll rush downhill. But then now, with the sun coming up and everything getting warm, the air will come uphill, meaning the wind carries your smell.
Yeah, and I feel like with an elk, you can fool their eyes, you can fool their ears, not a chance with their nose.
You never wonder what they smell. Let's go take a look off that little mountain there.
Grab a seat in the shade and listen and look.
We run the game trails and finger ridges in hopes of locating a bull. We'll either see one or we'll hear one responding to the dozens of bugles that Janis is ripping down into the canyons.
It's rough going in here.
Yeah. I mean, we got some good recon done this morning.
I know what it looks like.
If we can find a bull in a relatively approachable area, we'll slip in close. Once we're in tight enough, Janis will coax him into bow range with cow calls. Like I said, this is brand new country for Janis and me. The lack of familiarity makes it feel as though we're a couple of greenhorns. Later, when we're telling this story to our buddies, 3 days of grinding away and pitching out spike camps with next to no luck will be a colorful detail in an otherwise amazing story.
Let's go for a walk.
But now, living through it, it's a pain in the ass. We know the elk are here somewhere, but if they're not bugling, they're hard to find. It doesn't help that the current conditions are working against us.
The smoke makes it seem like you're glassing into the sun all day.
Also makes it seem like it's evening all of a sudden.
Eventually, we roll over into an old fire burn and pick up the sounds of a bull. Finally, we got something to work with.
There's several bulls talking, but I don't think anyone's real moving yet. He's on our side now.
He's just moving across the hill.
The wind is all over the place, which means this encounter could end in a hurry. And there you have it, a glimpse of a beautiful bull working our way, plus other bulls joining the chorus. But then our bull vanishes. Was it the calling, our smell, or is it that he's an elk and will never understand why he does what he does? Whatever the answer, it gets your blood pumping.
That's a good sign to see that they're responsive.
Now we've got a long hike back up the mountain. It'll give us plenty of time to think about tomorrow's plan. Even though we had some action last night, we decided to give a different network of canyons a shot. And before Janis even lets out a call, we hear bulls in the distance. We pop over a ridge and realize that one of them is a lot closer than we thought.
That bull's right in that timber patch right there.
Yanni goes to work. Janis's job is to call the bull up the mountain. He starts by making a few cow calls. He then adds a wimpy sounding bugle meant to make a big bull jealous that a young bull is hanging with cows in his area.
And what I'm trying to do with this bull is every time he bugles, I bugle right on top of him and try to mimic him. They don't like when someone's being a copycat.
And to add depth to his calling, Yanni adds in other elk sounds.
See if we can't get the party started.
Rolling rocks, thrashing brush, running around, generally causing a huge ruckus. The tapestry of sound is meant to convey an unmistakable message to the bull. There is breeding going on up here right now, and you really ought to be getting involved in it.
When bulls are chasing cows and there's multiple bulls fighting, they make a ton of noise. You'd think it'd scare the shit out of them, but it doesn't.
Often a bull won't want to approach the sound of a cow too closely without actually seeing her. They can hang up, as we say, and circle downwind. So I position myself between the bull and Janis to catch it coming by. Your instinct as a hunter is to bury yourself in the brush so you're hidden, but this can cause real problems when it's time to shoot. Better to stay out in front of a tree where you have unobstructed shot opportunities. But of course, this can lead to its own problem when it's time to move. You can get busted. And busted is what happens to me. The bull takes a different path than I expected. Instead of coming past me, he's got to come through me. So he's on top of me in an instant. Luckily, he circles back around. He's picked up a buddy.
bull smelled us.
Are we having fun yet?
That was a nice bull.
Yeah.
If I would have set up different, like he comes running up this thing, and his head gets behind this bush, and so I pulled back. They just lingered at 63 yards. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, that's fun. I think there's more bulls in here to work.
On a normal day, you'd be elated just to have a single interaction like that. But this is not a normal day. We just worked 2 bulls, and now there's another ripping below us across the drainage.
Oh, I can smell them.
There's this little ball of timber right here. And there's one up in there.
I think we can cut the distance in half and kind of get into their pressure zone.
Yeah, I think we should do it. This spot's good because I can shoot down. If he comes in through there, I'm covered.
I'll fall back just over that ridge.
Here I forget everything I just said about setting up in front of a tree. With the bright sun and an uphill approach across an open grassy hill, I'm nervous about getting pegged as soon as the bull leaves the timber. It's a dumbass move that I'll regret in a minute. Remember what I was saying about unobstructed shooting lanes and me being a dumbass?
Oh.
It's sickening, gut-wrenching, and it's happened before. A bad hit. My fault. Ideally, you'd watch the bull tip over dead within 2 steps, but not this time. It's beyond consideration of when that bull will die, it's if.
What happened?
I was standing right here. Got a range on him. I was like in a calm place. Everything felt good, but it doesn't look good.
All right.
It feels sick, man.
Well, I'll be optimistic, and hopefully it's not as far back as you think it is. We'll start tracking him, I don't know, 3 hours. At least we'll have an idea after that.
No.
A bad hit requires a longer wait before you start the blood trail. You don't want to pressure the bull and cause it to run. Only problem is that it's warm out. Meat quality can suffer in the heat, so every hour counts. After waiting, we head out to track it. To my relief, we find the blood trail leading into the creek bottom. On a great blood trail, you can jog along, but this one requires you to crawl along, examining the underside of leaves and looking for broken twigs and bent blades of grass. Still, we move it along, making progress. It's now been 6 hours since I shot the bull. As the crow flies, we've moved the trail over 300 yards. We're struggling when all of a sudden a loud crash erupts from the hillside just 100 yards away. I don't see the animal, but I suspect it's the bull. We bumped him. Darkness is coming and I'm worried about potential meat spoilage. Half of me wants to keep moving, but Janis's viewpoint confirms what I'm reluctant to admit.
My vote is to leave and be here bright and squirrely.
Yeah. Thanks for going through all this with me.
Oh, yeah.
Come morning, hopefully, the bull will be close by and dead. It's gonna be a long night. The next day, we pick up the trail right where we left off.
I found his tracks down here. It's a lot of snap brush.
On the trail. We'll keep at it.
I'm looking and listening as hard as I can, but then my ears pick up the last thing that I'm expecting to detect, a guy down the mountain yelling. I head that way and bump into one of the other tag holders, a Washington guide and entrepreneur named Chris.
How you doing, Chris?
Chris, what's up? Nice to meet you, man.
Chris was kind enough to interrupt his own morning to help out a fellow hunter.
I was up over there and saw a big yellow body. So that might be your bull.
He found the bull?
Yeah.
Dead?
Well, we were trying to lead you in on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You glassed up a dead bull?
Yeah.
Dude, you're my hero, man. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. Holy shit.
I couldn't be more relieved.
Look at the size of that body, man.
It wasn't a clean kill, but at least it's over. Actually, it's obvious now that it was over last night. The bull probably died shortly after we bumped it.
Doesn't smell yet.
No, not at all. I'm sorry we're late, but congrats, man.
Thanks, dude.
Here we are.
I appreciate you putting up with all that, man.
Holy cow.
I can't even believe this is happening right now. You're a good dude, man, for putting in the time to help find us, man.
That gut-wrenching feeling I've been living with fades but doesn't disappear. Undoubtedly, we lost some meat. I'm particularly worried about the condition of the tenderloins, which are almost certainly spoiled, and the tops of the back hams around the ball joints. It'll get worse with each passing minute. Chris still has a tag to fill and only 2 days to do it, so he does not linger long.
All right, man. Thank you.
You bet. I'm glad I could help you guys out.
Dude, it was the weirdest thing in the world.
It's not my bull, but I'm glad I got in on something here.
Well, best of luck to you, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. We'll be pen pals.
Sounds good.
We've got hundreds of pounds of meat to transport. Situations like this are when you feel especially lucky to have a film crew comprised of tough, expert backpackers at your disposal.
Gotta see if I can clear those teeth. Be the first guy I've been bit by an elk.
The gang of us is able to load up everything. I've got 87 pounds, Janis well over 90. We've got a miserable but glorious hike ahead of us. 3 miles, 2,000 vertical feet. We decide to spend a relaxing night at base camp before driving home. In the morning, Janis whips up some fried elk and gravy for a final breakfast.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing though.
There's so many conversations we have around ethics and humane slaughter and all that stuff, right? But then you have something go wrong, to have your arrow land 6 or 8 inches off and have it be something that would be death in seconds.
Yep.
To have it go from that to something that takes a lot longer. There's just that like narrow miss, man. Every little attempt, you make on something, it's so right for something to be kind of off, Particularly with bows. You gotta be just dead on to have it go right. Awareness of how bad it could go, I think, drives it in your head and makes it go bad too.
Yes.
Because you're like, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. And there's a cockiness with a rifle.
We put that pressure on ourselves though, right? Like, if that animal dies any other way, besides involvement with a human, it's most likely gonna be worse. And even though this bull didn't die within seconds, might have taken a few hours, it always stinks to have a little bit of meat loss. Had he just been eaten by a lion, how much waste would there have been?
Yeah, getting killed by, wolves in here. That's some slow, painful stuff. And there's comfort in that, but there's also just this awareness of like, that's not you.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We make these rules up for ourselves, right?
Make it up for yourself. It's something to strive for. I mean, it doesn't diminish the entirety of the experience, but it is like, you messed up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't factor in everything that needed to be factored in. I was like, I don't want to say shocked, definitely not shocked that we found it, but pleasantly surprised, man, pleasantly surprised.
In describing a life lived close to nature, I talk about the arena of consequence, meaning this is a place where actions produce results that you have to live with. What happens in the mountains does not stay in the mountains. It goes home with you in the form of a complex cocktail of emotions and physical goods. We got a lot of meat, but not as much as we could have gotten. We killed an elk, but not as well as we should have killed it. All you can do is sift through the complexities for whatever lessons you can find. Then you move on, better equipped, hopefully, for the next go-around.